Hey, good morning everyone. Today we're gonna be working on my 2019 Turbo XP. We're gonna be putting on a snorkel kit. I've had some problems with these vents right here. With the big tires I'm running, it spews up a lot of water, and water comes in here and then it goes down into like my clutch system, or it goes into the air box. The last time we went riding, went to Wildcat, and a lot of water went into the air box. I'm surprised it didn't mess up the engine. I didn't even go through that much deep of water, but all that water came in through the air box and basically through the 6990 code. So we bought a Triangle UTV. It's called a Snorkit. So basically what it is, you have a lot of PVC pipes, some 90s. They provide you with your own tubes. They have a lot of little pieces that's significant to them that they made work. This is going to go on the air box. This is going to go on top of the clutch cover. And all these little knickknacks. They have a really good in-depth video of how to do all this, how to set it all up to make it basically completely waterproof up into where the air vents are going to be. So I'm just going to be looking at their video. I'm going to show you a couple things that I'm doing, but first things first, one thing they recommended, and I'm going to do really quick just to make it really easy and get it done right, is they took off the roll cage, and then they took off this front whole plastic piece because you have to get behind this gauge cluster. And it's actually really cool. I watched the video of it on this first part. Basically, a lot of people get these screens fogged up, and they show you how to waterize this part behind the gauge cluster, to make sure that this doesn't get fogged up. So I'm definitely going to do all that. Also, they took off this half section of the bed because it comes in half, and then they took off the roll cage. So I have a lot of stuff hooked up. I have the speakers hooked up, I have my CB hooked up, I have the windshield hooked up. So today what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be demoing all this, getting it all to the point where I can work on it, and then from there we'll start diving into the video of how to do all of this, and show you a couple tidbits here and there, because I just got done with the maintenance video and I started all that. I tried videotaping literally everything that I was doing because I wanted people to understand how meticulously I maintain this machine. But I ended up with over 4 hours and 50 minutes of raw footage that I've been trying to edit for a long while now. It's taken a while. It's probably not going to get that many views, but I'm just going to I spent way too much time videoing that part of maintenance, so this time I'm just going to do tidbits here and there and show you some of the things that I've been doing. As you can see, got a lot of work done so far. Hour and a half to get to this point. Basically what we did is we took the driver's side bed cover off, and then I had to detach this taillight and the rear end. I took off the fender along with the bed altogether. Took the rear parts of the roll cage off. Took the roll cage off. Had to get help from a neighbor. I left it all intact, left the windshield on. I took the center console out. Well, the dash center console. Took the seats out, dropped the harnesses, and I left the speakers hooked up. There is everything, the seats, the hood, doors, took the doors off. And now I'm going to tell you what you need to take off, and then what you don't need. They tell this in the video when I got this Triangle UTV kit. Basically, you can go ahead and take this off, but you won't need that. Go ahead and set this somewhere where you won't really need anymore. There's all the parts I have I replaced. And then this air box, pop it down on that side, and then you can kind of move it around, get it out. You can take this off because you won't be needing this anymore. You can pop off this center console, and we'll go. All right, so got the center console off. So we got the dash off. So now we have access to all of our electrical. They tell you in the video, this little white dot right there, put silicone on that. That's going to prevent your dash screen from getting foggy. And then they also recommend taking all your electricals off and putting dielectric grease on all that. That's why you have to take all this off. And then back here, they'll recommend taking everything off and putting dielectric grease on, because what you don't want happening is you don't want to go through water and then come back out of water. All this stuff will rust if you don't have dielectric grease. They also say your fuse panel under here, they want you to dielectric grease everything in there. And then they recommend taking this off. That's to your power steering. Take that off. There's a clip in there. You definitely want to dielectric grease that clip in there, along with the gas pedal clip in there. So basically right now we got it to a point where now we can start working on it. So I'm going to start following the video. There's a few things that you have to do to this air box. They want you to cut it and put on their special parts. And then they recommend putting like a drain plug in right there in case any, God forbid, any water gets in there. But there's a lot of work you have to do to this right here. That's why they recommended taking all this out. That way you can get to it. It took an hour and a half to get all this done, so it wasn't that much of a pain. It did require 2 people to take the roll cage off because I tried to keep everything intact. That way it's going to be easy install, putting it all back together. But from here, I'll just start watching the video and doing everything one thing at a time until completion. And good morning, everyone. Today is day 2 of putting the high lifter Triangle UTV snorkel kit on. I can only work on in the mornings right before work because I work afternoon and night shifts. So basically from 9 to noon, just a few hours each day. The first day I ripped everything off of the buggy. I got it to a point where I can work on it. And then today, being day 2, I went ahead and dielectric greased everything that it was a connection. So basically, let me show you some of the key points that I put dielectric grease. I basically started up front. I dielectric greased the winch box. I put some on here, and then in this connection, opened up this connection here. I did the front 2 headlights. I did all the switches, the ignition switch, the winch, the headlight, and the 4-wheel drive switch. I did the cigarette lighter. I did the speedometer. I also put silicone right there on that white dot. They recommended doing that on the video. Doing this will prevent water from getting in this hole and fogging up your gauge cluster, so I highly recommend putting silicone all on this white circle right there. Underneath here, I did the front diff wire. It runs up back here. Over here, I put some on the battery terminals, took that off, put it on battery terminal. Take your ECU out, take this off, clean it up, and then put some on the inside of both connections. Also under here, like what I said yesterday, make sure that you do the 2 plugs underneath this container, which is your power steering gearbox. Right here, your pedal, your gas pedal. There's a little clip on this side. Also under here, make sure you pop off your fuse box and then do every single fuse. Back here, I did this switch right here. They highly recommend, in order to make your buggy not stop underwater, you definitely have to do this ignition coil right here and there. They said if you go into water and your buggy stops running, that's your main cause right there. Water gets up in there. So make sure you definitely put dielectric grease on these two plugs and on the inside of these two plugs right there. I went ahead and did in here. These right here connect to your fuel injectors, so definitely want to put dielectric grease under there. Did this plug, that plug, this plug. All right. Make sure that you do your taillights. There's one, two, there's a third one over there. And then down here, if you get down here, you'll see I did that. Down here, I'm gonna throw some dielectric grease on that right there. Everything that has a connection, everything that is touching metal on metal, you want to put dielectric grease on. This will prevent it from ever rusting when you go under any water. Alright, the dielectric grease that I'm using today is called tune-up dielectric grease. I think I got from Lowe's. So nothing special. The kit did come with some. Came with little packets. You could have used that. It would have been perfectly fine. But I had that laying around and I wanted to use that. There's nothing wrong with it. So basically now that everything, all the connections have dielectric grease on, now it's time to start moving forward with the project. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on our airbox. Basically what you're going to want to do is clear out some room that you have to work with. I definitely need to clean my garage. I'm always busy working, no time cleaning. Alright, get this. What we're going to do is we're going to take this pipe off. We're going to put this to the side because we're not going to be utilizing this anymore. This is the passenger side of the airbox when it goes on the buggy. You're going to want to cut this piece of the airbox off, and then they give you a metal piece that goes on there that I'll show you how to secure it and everything. But right now, let's go ahead and cut this. Now that we have it cut, this piece right here is going to go on there. And if you notice, there's some room that you need to cut some more to be able to get access to both holes. So in doing that, they align it pretty good right there. So what you're going to want to do is take a marker or screwdriver and mark that hole out and get it to where you know where to cut. Now that we got it to where this will align and you can see through both holes, now you want to take a sander or a Dremel and make sure that this is flat. That way when you put this on, there's no bulges anywhere. Then you kind of want to clean up your edges. You don't want a whole lot of this plastic sticking out. I got a little crazy there, but it's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to align this, and then we're going to go get silicone. I'll show you what two types of silicone they recommend, and you're going to silicone it on there and silicone the backside too, making sure that there's no leak from this airbox. Just got back from work. It's 12:44 morning. I decided to go ahead and start on the airbox. So I'll show you a couple things of what I did, as well as what silicone that I'm using, that was recommended from Triangle UTV. So on the airbox, what we needed to do is, last time you saw me, I had to cut that hole out in order to fit the 2-hole plate that they have. So when you put this on, you want to put a bead of silicone around that hole that you just cut out, and then you want to go and place this and then use your screws to screw into the plastic, and then put silicone all the way around it. That way it's 100% watertight. The airbox comes with a drain plug. God forbid you get any water in it, you can easily drain it. It comes with the drain plug, it comes with the rubber grommet. You need to drill it with a 1/2-inch drill bit, and then you need to put that rubber grommet in, and then the drain plug goes straight in there. Still kind of tacky. The last thing you need to do to the airbox, this part of the airbox, is it comes with a brass fitting, and this brass fitting is for this line right here. This is the fuel tank line. For the airbox cover, they recommended putting a bead of silicone around the edge and then cleaning it up, making it halfway flat, halfway decent. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just clean up your mess. Clutch cover as well. Over here, why this is black is they recommend using automotive black RTV silicone sealant type 270. I got this at O'Reilly. So the two types of silicone, automotive black type 270 and 100% silicone. This automotive black is specifically used for any material that you're not going to touch again. It's basically a bonding agent. That way it doesn't really have that much flex to it. It's going to be more of a watertight seal. The next thing that we're going to do is we need to take this snorkel airbox off, right? This exhaust snorkel right here. We need to remove this off. And then we're going to gain access to this rubber plate down in there. So this is the next step right here. Take that off. Alright. Alright. So now that we have this belt exhaust snorkel off, now we can do some work in here. We need to go ahead and take this plate out. So now this is off. Go ahead and clean this off and clean this off while you're at it. Now we have this rubber piece over here. We cleaned it with brake cleaner. I got the majority off with Windex and I went over it again with brake cleaner. And you're going to put a smooth edge right here. You just want to ensure that there's a nice little amount of silicone around this. Then you're going to put it back on. I was able to get this back on, and it's good to see a little bit of silicone coming out. It means we have a good seal. Tighten it all down. Now we need to work on this CVT belt snorkel. So basically, this is the metal piece from this. We're going to be reusing this metal piece and this bottom edge. Alright, so now that we got it sanded smooth, now we can put it back on this. So now we want to take a razor blade and we're going to trim along the edge of this plate right here. So making progress with this, let me show you what I have done so far. This right here is the bottom of the rubber piece of this exhaust snorkel. So we're going to be using this with the metal piece. They provide you with this L-shaped metal piece as well, but I put all the screws in, so got it all flattened, put silicone around everything, making it watertight. Now we're going to put silicone here, put this rubber piece on, and then we're going to put silicone on this rubber piece and then attach it back to the motor. Now we're ready to install the airbox. They recommended getting clips for here because if you see there's a little bit of a gap here, but it's pretty tight. So I went ahead and ordered them. They're like $8 a piece. That's going to make it more waterproof. Now we can go ahead and put our hoses onto here, and then we're going to go ahead and slap this bad boy on. Make sure that you have the two clips for here and you have the drain plug put in at the bottom. And let's go ahead and install this. The kit came with a check valve here for air to only go one way, and then water won't be able to go back up. So we hooked this fuel line up to this brass fitting here, used some zip ties, put that check valve in there. We're running this down this frame rail where it did normally go up here and then went in there, but we're running it down here. The kit came with a three-way valve. What you're going to do is you're going to connect it to this three-way. The top part's going to go here, and there's going to be a clear hose down there with the check valve. Only air is going to be able to push out. Water won't be able to get up through there. and you're just going to secure this here to the frame on the side, and then I'm going to run it down and attach it down here to the probably the brake line down there. Good evening, everyone. Today is Friday. Oh, well, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. It's really Thursday night. Got home from work around midnight. Decided to come out here and do a little bit more work. I did the time. Looks like I have about 6 more hours left worth of actual work and tedious stuff to do to this machine. I just want to do everything exactly how the instructions are. They do make a really good video, so I don't want to take away from them because they spend a lot of time doing a really good video with Triangle UTV. But I do want to show you what step I'm on right this second. So I went ahead and put the CVT belt snorkel on. I'm letting it dangle right this second. I went ahead and put this bellow on. This goes down to the rear transmission. They just tell you to have it up high and accessible. They say that this contracts and expands, so having 2 on there for the turbo is basically, it gives a little bit more airflow. However, this setup is made for strictly mud and water riding only. So basically, they say if you're going to be in the dunes or just riding trails and you know for a fact you're not going to be in any water, you can go and pop one of these off. That way it can breathe. Because if you don't and you're trying to go all out, you might blow a seal in your tranny. Same thing with the front. So I went ahead and I routed it up to the firewall. I put it right here. It looks like little bunny ears. And then I could pop this one off if I want to, if we're just doing mainly trail riding with no water. So basically, I have a clear hose that's going to go here. It does a loop system, and I'll explain that one. This kit came with a longer black hose right here. They wanted you to connect it to that turbo hose right here. This releases pressure. What they recommend is bringing it up back here, and then once you put the roll cage on, they want you to actually put it in the roll cage and then run it up. Also, I went ahead and put all this on. This was a really tight fit. It took me a minute to put that on, but they definitely want to be watertight. Looks like a fire hose or something. So anyways, ran these 2 hoses here. What is going to happen is this is going to go back and connect like something like this back here underneath with a 90. So right now this is ready for the bed to be put on. Everything is done in here. Everything's connected. All this stuff is sealed tight. That's tight. This is tight. This hose is done. We got our bellows on. Like I said, this one's going to be able to take off and on depending on the type of riding that we do. So if we're going creek riding, that's staying on. If we're going somewhere where there's not a lot of water, it's coming off. Same thing with the front. And everything's done here. So I think I'm going to leave the top off for right this second. I have some lights I need to put on. So before I put the cage on, I'm going to go ahead and leave this off. But the bed is ready to be put on now. So we're going to put the bed on. Today's Friday, so last day of the week working on this thing. Hopefully, maybe we can make some progress on it. I only have about another hour before I need to start getting ready for work. Last night, I ended up coming back out here. I was here till about 3:30 last night working. But what we need to do now, this top dash piece is ready to go on. I got these new LED mirror lights. A buddy of mine, Sean, he has them. And looking back at the videos that I'm editing, I realized just how much or how little I can see compared to how much Sean can see whenever Sarah videotapes. I was like, dang, like they could see a lot. I can only see like this much. So I'm like, well, I'll go ahead and buy it. I have access to everything. It was a really easy hookup. being able to have this dash piece off, but you have to basically take the cage off to get this dash piece off. I guess I could have got it by taking the windshield off, but I left the windshield and the mirrors on, everything, because I wanted to take as little apart as possible. But with that being said, I do need to get help putting this roll cage back on. I'll probably ask my neighbor. Or Sean said he's going to come over Saturday. So if I don't get it today, I can ask. Sean will be over tomorrow afternoon. Sorry. My neighbor just walked up and I asked him if he could help me put the roll cage on. So we just got the roll cage on and we are tightening it all down. Got these new side mirror lights, so hooking those all up. Got this side done. What I need to do before I get done for the day and start getting ready for work, I want to go ahead and put this on and compression test it. I just put silicone oil in it last night, and I found out that this part right here was bowed out a little bit last night. So I heated it up and I pushed it in. So hopefully it will get seated properly and this thing isn't warped, or I won't have to get a new one because they're not cheap. So I put... Hey, good evening everyone. Just got home from work. It's 12:20 a.m. I'm gonna work on this buggy for a couple hours. Sean is coming over tomorrow to help me finish up whatever I can't get done. I got the cage on, got the bed on. I just had everything. I had the belt cover on. I did a quick compression test, like I blew into one hose and then I capped the other hose trying to see if there's any leaks. Good morning everyone. Today is Saturday. I've been working on this thing for a week now. Pretty late. Let me show you what we did last night. So I got a new switch for the winch. I was running just a monetary on-off-on switch, but it didn't light up, and I wanted it to light up because I had it on my old buggy, but I bought this 7-pin switch, so I was trying to figure out how to wire it to where I can have it constantly lit up. Found a video on YouTube someone made, so I'm going to try it out, and I'll post the findings on how I did it so everybody knows. Last night, got the primary clutch on. It's only torqued to 80. Sean's bringing a torque wrench. We're going to torque it to 100, and then we're going to work on the secondary clutch right there when he gets here. Still need to put the cage on. Last night I put the PRP seat harnesses on last night, so those are on there now. And I got one mirror light on. Still need to put this one on, and then other than that, we also have to put all these risers on. So still have some work to do, but it's coming along great. We're stopping and doing other mods as we are able to, as we get them. So like I said, I got that switch. I have the mirror lights put on. They're just easy, accessible, because able to get to everything. And Sean told me, he goes, I'm not leaving till we get that thing done. So he's just a really good friend. Owe him a lot of work. So thanks, Sean. We'll see you here in a minute, and I'm gonna go ahead and start getting I'm gonna start working on this wiring right now, and then I'll catch back up with y'all here in a minute. Alright, I got the winch switch hooked up, so now it comes on with the key on. Here's how I hooked it. So I had the solenoid with these 3 wires, green, red, and black. This is a 7-pin switch, so I hooked it like this. I had to run an extra wire to the accessory on switch to this side for the lights to be on constantly, and then I ran a ground to the very top. So this is, you have to run the jumper from the accessory down to have the lights on all the time. So they came factory, like the light would only come on when you touch it, but I wanted the light to be on the whole time, so See, now the light's on the whole time and it still works. So now I'll put it all up. I didn't really like it, so I just moved the switches around. I had the 4-wheel drive in the very middle, and then the winch in and out as close to the driver's side door in case you have to stand outside. Stand out here, you can just hit up here. And then the side mirrors right next to it. And so now I'm going to put the center console right here in the center dash piece in. That way I can run the tablet. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man?
Reinforcements are here.
Would it be me if I wasn't pissed off about something?
You're always mad about something, but I got something to cheer you up.
Yeah. So, on the way here, I missed the turn to Raceway Road from 40 because it was all fucking construction. I was like, oh shit, I missed it. So it rerouted me through like neighborhoods to get here.
I thought it took you a while to get here.
And I'm like, where the fuck am I? And there was like these giant speed bumps. I was supposed to turn on Raceway and I missed it, so it had me turn on the next road. And I ended up in some fucking neighborhoods and I went over the speed bump and there was a pothole and it boom! And I heard a sound and I was like, sounds like a hubcap just flew off. So I lost another hubcap.
Oh my!
I was like,
don't you have an extra one though?
I have 2 extras.
Good thing you got an extra.
I was like, you motherfucker! I was like, I'm throwing my phone out the window.
Next thing we're gonna do is start drilling a hole right here for the snorkels. We're gonna use these. Alright, this fits just like so. What you're gonna do is put a mark right in the center and drill a hole right in there. And then you'll do the same on that side. Got these cut out, got this plate in. Now we're on to putting the risers. And while Sean's messing with the risers, the plumber man over there, I'm gonna put this clutch cover back on. Alright, buttoning this up. Alright, finally got the risers on. Grease was the trick. Had to throw some grease on the threads to help it go all the way in.
As watching this video, like, yeah, dumbass.
Yeah, well, they're tight now. And we got belt housing on. So now they can go up there. This looks damn good so far. That like a perfect fit. All thanks to Sean. These are little bunny ears we'll wrap around. About done. Just have to hook these up. Making some good progress on the buggy. Belt cover on. Hooked up the hoses. Got it wire tied up. Hooked it up. Got these risers on. Not done yet. Right now I'm about to silicone it. Sean's hooking up all the wires. Got the roof on. Got the speakers on. I just wanted to give a quick update on everything. Alright, got it all put back together. Only thing else, we gotta put the side bits on, but I'm gonna do that right tomorrow. It's all hooked up. Got the snorkel on. It's blowing with the belt. And it's suctioning here with the air. You can feel it. No codes, that's the biggest thing. There is no codes. Heck yeah. Well, got the buggy all done. Snorkel kit is finished. Sean McGinnis, thank you very much for your help. Truly appreciate it. You're a great friend. Couldn't have done it without you. Big shout out to you. Thanks, buddy. Dude, I owe you so much work. I'll pay you back one of these days. I'll build you a house. Anyways, the final touches were done tonight. Had to cut this factory side vent out right here. That way it kind of looks factory, except for this. So these are just there for looks now, but it kind of hides this metal plate in there. And strap this wire up here. So now these side vents are on. In here we put the 2 side clips, so now it's completely sealed in there. And here's the finished product. So again, thank you to CW Motorsports for hooking me up with this snorkel kit. Thank you to Sean McGinnis for helping me finish this. And thank you all for watching. Hope this was informative. And if you have any questions, be certain to hit me up. Other than that, this is 530 Crew Off-Road, and we're signing out.